You can't ask of me to trust you.
Hello, everyone. It's Nuclear Calillo here for another episode, bringing you some deep insights on the game, so to speak. Um, Before we start, um, please give me a like and subscribe on the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter, um, twitter.com Calillo Nuclear, and then I'm gonna start doing lives and on Twitch as well. So twitch.tv/nuclear Calillo, which is just like my Twitter handle backwards. Um, and then yeah, we'll get more content out there on both those platforms. All right. So today's topic of the day is basically, um, do women like gifts? And obviously this is not a yes or no, right? I think this is it depends answer, right? But it's a very important thing because you can easily lose a girl or lose frame by thinking a certain way about whether you should give a girl gifts or not, right? So the first question you have to ask yourself when when you're trying to figure out if girls like gifts, women like gifts, is it does it depend on who it's from? And the answer is yes. Um, as you've probably seen, sugar daddy and gifting culture to women has become much more popular and much more normalized and accepted and as normal and um just part of the game, right? Um but do you think that those men that are gifting and giving girls expensive dinners, expensive purses, bags, stuff like that, do you think that like and respect those men? More likely than not, it's going to be a no. At a minimum, they will not see those men as um as men they would want to be in a relationship with, right? Women want to compete and women want to feel that like a man and his resources are a challenge. Don't take when you give your resources away to women very easily, what she sees you as is just an easy mark, just another guy. There's no challenge, there's no mystery, there's no fun, right? So always assume or always think, um when women, whether deciding whether women like gifts, is like the big question here is from who, right? um so when it comes to dating, you never want to lead with gifts, right? Never want to lead with giving them, that's why me and other guys that give advice on here never suggest to take a woman to dinner on the first date or take her to an expensive date, right? Because what you're saying is that you're an easy mark, and women are not attracted to something, a man that is easy to part with his resources, right? She'll automatically see you as, just a trick or a sugar daddy or just a food call, whatever, right? um you always want to lead with your personality, your charm. That's not to say be extremely cheap. Obviously, I think a coffee date or some drinks would be the best type of first date. Um, but on those dates, you don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money, right? The focus is on your time and attention, is what you're giving them, right? Not your money, not your gifts. Paying for 2 or 3 drinks is just the cost of doing business, but it's not like the same as a dinner where she can order whatever she wants, and it's seen more as a giving something. Um and then you don't want to uh you don't want to give, if you do get to a point where you do want to gift the girl something, right? Remember that it has to be appropriate to the timeline of your relationship with her, and also to where you're at, where she's at, and what type of person she is. For example, once I know a girl very well and we've met and we've connected and maybe we've hooked up or something like that, right? I have a collection of Shiba Inu stickers that I collect or I just buy from Amazon. and then I give it to her, right? It's just a little sticker, right? But it's it's more playful and fun, and it's coming from a guy that she's already hooked up with based on charm and personality, right? So it means that much more. It's not like I'm giving her a Gucci bag or shoes or a dress or anything like that, right? So gifts should be appropriate for the timeline. Another example is like you don't want to give girls weird gifts, right? So let's say a popular gift is lingerie, right? A lot of guys like to give girls lingerie. Obviously, it serves a double purpose. The guy gets the high of feeling sexually dominant by telling the woman what to say, what to wear, and the girl feels sexy by having a guy tell her what to do and what to wear, right? But you don't want to buy lingerie for a girl you haven't had sex with yet, right? And even then, it's still iffy, right? Make sure that you bring that if you do want to give a girl you're dating, make sure that you've already, hooked up with her, and make sure that you feel that comfort where you guys are very open, and then you can say, "Hey, I want you to wear this for me," right? And then you buy her or whatever, right? Um, Also, a lot of women already have lingerie, so they'll probably be like, "No, I already got that. It's all good. I'll wear it for you," right? Um, another iffy one is like let's say kitchen appliances and stuff like that, um especially for girlfriends. Like if your girlfriend is likes to cook and do stuff in the kitchen, sure, buying her things that make her domestic chores much easier would probably be a good thing, right? And then there's some women that like, even getting them like a toaster or something may make them offended, right? Obviously, I would err on the side of like if you get a gift for a girl, and regardless of what it is, and she doesn't like it, then that's probably a red flag right there. But I would say that make sure that your gifts are appropriate to the type of woman you're dealing with, and make sure that most likely there is no gift that matters before you hook up. And even then, make sure that before you give a girl a gift, make it appropriate to the situation you're in, right? Like I said, a sticker uh 2 or 3 times after you guys hook up 2 or 3 times is funny. It's cute. It's like, this guy's kind of quirky. It adds a little bit of character to your guys' relationship, and it's funny, right? But giving them lingerie after the first time you hook up is kind of weird, right? It seems possessive. Make sure that you have the type of relationship where you guys at least have that understanding that there's some connection between you guys, and there's a level of comfort where you can start introducing that kind of stuff, right? um and then it goes to the concept where like, and this is a crazy thing to witness, but a gift from an alpha is what is worth more than a gift from a beta by an extreme magnitude, right? A guy that's trying to lead with money can give a girl a pearl, or I don't want to say pearl necklace, I don't know, something like a gold necklace or something like that, or a scrapbook full of the memories, or something, right? But that will be nothing compared to an alpha that gives her a flower that he just picked 5 minutes before going to meet her, right? And that's a crazy comparison because there are men that like have to lead with money because they don't have game, they don't have, they lead with just money, right? Especially you see these guys that never in their 20s that never worked to get experience with women. So when they get to their 30s and they grind, which is nothing wrong with that, obviously, but they grind and they push forward, and then eventually it gets to the point where they get to their 30s, they have a good job, they have lots of money, maybe 1 or 2 houses or whatever like that, right? And then they have no experience with women, so that they think that leading with money is going to get them the woman they want, and it could get their foot in the door, right? But what happens is they lead with money, and the women, when you lead with money, women automatically put you in the category of sugar daddy, trick, or whatever, right? So they take women on expensive dinners, they give women gifts, and the women just don't respond well to that. And the thing is, the nefarious thing about all this is that women are designed to take your resources like that's biological, right? So they'll most of the time they'll never say no to a stranger giving them things, right? When a guy, when we try to get gifted, when people strangers try to gift us things, we get nervous. We don't understand why. You start questioning things. But women automatically, they can go with on a date with a guy they've never met. The guy will pay for an expensive dinner, and they'll be like, "Thanks," and give him a hug and go home and never see him again. Block his number, block his IG, and so on and so forth. Right. So understand that before you even think about giving a woman anything besides your attention, time, and maybe one or two drinks or a coffee, make sure that at least you have that connection. Like I would say, um, until you slept with the girl and you know it's not a one night stand and she's into you, don't even think about giving her anything beyond the things I mentioned, right? Because if not, you're going to be put in that category. And more often than not, a lot of guys find themselves on a third or fourth or fifth date and they're like, okay, any day now I'm going to make my move. But honestly, um, you don't want to be in that position, right? Um, so I have a story time. I was dating a girl while I was in the military and I was deployed, and she would send me boxes full of, treats, coffee, pictures of her, non-explicit pictures of her. I told her not to give me anything explicit. But very nice things she would send me, and I was like, man, I should probably get her something back. Like whenever I pull into port, maybe, a trinket or something when I pull into port. And the only thing she told me, like, the only thing I want is like a rock from each place you go to, a rock. And I'm like, you mean like, like a rock with like just a rock? And she's like, yeah, she was a geology student. So, she liked rocks. She liked to look at them and study them. So, you know, the fact that there's men out here that are giving women like expensive things and stuff just to have a chance and like a foot in. Meanwhile, there's guys that girls are just asking them for a rock, you know, and and a rock doesn't really have any value. So the what adds value to that rock I'm giving her is that it's coming from me. So you see how um you can give a woman the whole world and the moon and the stars, but if it's not coming from the main guy in her life or the guy she's most attracted to in her life, it doesn't mean anything. And that's why I say, the it's the difference between a gift from an alpha and a gift from a beta, the magnitude is so extreme that you cannot you cannot even gamble with giving a woman a gift before you have that connection, especially through intimacy, right? You do not give a you do not give things to girls until you at least have some sort of connection beyond just a first date, right? I would say for me personally, 2 weeks in of like just hooking up and maybe second and third day she's cool, you like her, then you can start thinking like, hey, maybe you hooked up 3 times and you're just like, okay, well, hey, you want to go grab some sushi, depending on the man and depending on the girl, but never lead with money before you guys hook up. That is asking to be put in a box you don't want to be put in, right? um so yeah, like I mentioned before, women are designed to extract resources, right? So that's not something that they consciously do. It's just within their biology. They have to take. That's just who they are. But if they realize they can't take from you easily, but without performing or giving something in return first, um, then they'll see you as a higher in their higher in attraction. This guy is actually worth something. He's not going to give it away to me easily. So I have to, perform as a woman instead of just, existing. Right. Um, let's see what I got here. Yeah. So you don't want to give, your resources away because that automatically puts you in a loser category. Um, so, in the space we have this saying called, be a Skittles man, right? And I've gotten questions of, what is a Skittles man? A Skittles man is basically a guy that on days like I would say more specifically February 14th, um, which is Valentine's Day, and like days like Christmas or something like that, that you are the type of man that if you gave her Skittles, a pack of Skittles, that she would be overjoyed and happy, right? After that, maybe a sticky note with like, some crass comment about her body, but a lot of guys see that and they think, oh well, you know, that's not manly because, you're doing it to appease your own ego of not needing to give something, right? The thing is that like it's not so much that you do or you don't, right? It's so much the fact that like you're so important and so attractive in her life, right? That even if you gave her a rock or a pack of Skittles or a sticky note saying thank you, you have thank you for your nice ass or whatever you give her, right? She values that gift not because of the objective value of a gift, but because it's coming from you, she's going to value it that much more, right? A pack of Skittles from an alpha guy that she's completely in love or in lust or whatever with is worth hundreds of times more than a piece of jewelry from a guy that she's just not sure about, or she's just, she was the guy that she settled for, all those things, right? And a lot of guys, you need to understand that like gifts have a time and place, right? But you never lead with gifts, right? Your time and attention is your biggest asset, and you have to make it known to her. And the way you make it known to her is, when she acts up, you remove your attention. Um, when she's not holding up her part of the bargain in terms of relationship, then you remove attention, right? I know marriages is a little different because you're married. Probably have kids and all that stuff, but your time and attention matters, and that should be the number one gift. And you have to treat it as such. Your time is something that you can't get back, and if you give a woman your time, you're giving her your most valuable asset, right? If you give her gifts and all that stuff, um, and your time and your attention, she's gonna think, oh man, it's just another guy that does not build attraction at all, right? Um, so here's a sad part too. A lot of times women get gifts from men on social media, or sorry, from men in real life, and then they go on social media and then they post 10 pictures of the gift and like one picture of the man or no pictures of the man, right? I see this all the time, Facebook, IG, and it ranges. It could be a bouquet of flowers on her birthday or on Valentine's Day. She'll post 10 pictures of the flowers, um, and then one picture of the guy giving her the flower, and the guy I've never seen, or it's just a guy that she's sort of in a relationship with. She's not sure about. She's not very attracted to him, but she's like the safe. He's like the safe option, right? So when, as you can see, like gifts for women usually, if they're not coming from an alpha, they're usually just used for clout, social media clout, and to signal to other women like I can get men to give me things. I'm better than other women. Like it's a social hierarchy, right? And one of the saddest versions of this is I see women that I've known like university, from university, and they get with a guy that this just doesn't look like he's super attractive. He may be a little bit overweight. He may be just look like a dork or whatever, whatever, what have you, right? And then like they'll get engaged and the ring has like 20 pictures or 10 pictures of the ring and one picture of the guy, right? um and it's like it's sad because like the guy has just given you his undying, his implied undying commitment, right? And then you're taking the token of that commitment, which in itself is expensive monetarily. Rings can get expensive, and you're parading it on social media to brag to your friends, right? I would say one or two pictures is fine, right? But I've seen women that they have they post the ring but not the guy, and that's really sad, right? You never want to be in that position. That's the biggest red flag, right? You never want to be in a position where you're giving gifts to your girl and she goes directly to social media and brags about the gift and not you, right? You are the prize. The gift is just a bonus or an extension of the time and attention of how valuable your time and attention are, right? And you never want to be in that position. Um, it's really important to understand that you never give a girl a gift um if you unless unless you want to, unless never under obligation, right? If a girl really truly likes you, right? um and her a special day's coming up, or all her friends are getting gifts or whatever, um do you want to give her a gift, or do you feel like you have to? There's a big difference, right? Or it could be a mix of both, right? I feel like for the most part, I personally would not mind giving a girl a gift on Valentine's Day, on her birthday, right? But this is because when it's Christmas or my birthday, I've gotten great gifts from women, and they've gone all out to give me. They've gone all out to give me gifts that I needed. Very thoughtful. They took the time to think what I would like, and if a woman did that for me, like let's say on Christmas, you better believe that on February 14th, it's a candlelit dinner, right? Because what she has proven is, she's doing tryouts for being my girlfriend and future wife. So when a girl is qualifying to you, you should reward her. And now a lot of guys will say, well, there's other ways to reward her. I'm like, of course, of course, there's other ways to reward her. But I feel like if a woman is really trying and she's really going all out, and she's in your frame, and that special day comes up like Christmas or the holiday, whatever other holiday, or February 14th, her birthday, there's nothing wrong with putting a little thought into it, right? Um, Typically girls that go out and give you gifts and are qualifying to you and doing are happy with your time and attention. If you give them a gift, a really nice gift, maybe they might brag to their friends, but they will feel it will be very important to them. They will see you as her knight in shining armor, right? And that's okay. But there's a thin line here, and just know that with time, as you get more game and more aware of women's behavior, you'll be able to call this behavior out better, right? So, like I said, Christmas comes around and she gives you like $200 worth of gifts unsolicited, and she doesn't ask for anything in return. You best believe that on February 14th, whenever uh it's time to give her a gift. It could be a bouquet of roses, a teddy bear, or a candlelit dinner, or whatever. And I will not feel bad at all, or not feel like I'm being used at all, because she already put in the effort, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with giving women gifts if she's qualifying to you, if she's doing everything right. You always reward good behavior and you ignore bad behavior, right? You remove your attention. Um, and yeah, it giving gifts is something that, like, it's a thing that, like, from the outside, it's easy to call out a guy and be like, hey, you haven't had sex with her, or you just met this girl, why are you giving her a free dinner, or why are you giving her a purse or a bag or whatever, right? But a lot of guys just can't, they get into this trap of thinking that they have to hustle and grind and not talk to women at all in their 20s. And then when we get to their 30s, they have all this money and success, which is fine, that's great, that's all what we're all striving for. But like, they don't have that thought that, hey, women, they do care about your status and your success and your money, right? But if they will not respect men that lead with their money, right? You have to develop that charm and that personality to get women to like you, and then that's when everything is has to be done in an appropriate manner, right? And even and within that, if we zoom in, there are certain gifts, like I mentioned before, that you don't give women at first, right? Like, for example, I like, if I meet a girl I really like and things are going well, then I give her a little sticker after 2 or 3 times of meeting, like, hey, here's a little sticker. And if she like looks happy or overjoyed, oh, it's so cute. Then I know, like, okay, well, she's an appreciative person. It's one of my shit tests to women, is testing their true desire for me, right? Now, um, there are women that will never pay for anything and never give you anything in return, right? Like, They're very they latch on to the old order thinking where it benefits them, which is like not paying for anything. And that's an iffy situation, right? Like it's not like you're as a man, we don't need gifts, right? We don't expect it, we don't need it, right? Um, but there are women that like gift there's cultures where like gifting is a normal thing to do, and women are smart, and women use these different backgrounds and culture and inject them into their dating life and expectations, and try to put the pressure on men to go ahead and give them gifts based on a culture that they haven't even grown up in or are not part of anymore. And it's kind of annoying. You see this a lot with like cultures like more like sometimes Latin America, where um you know women expect to be kind of wine and dined because it was a more traditional, their mom and dad was a more traditional um upbringing, right? But understand that that's just not the way it is there, and if a girl comes with that energy, you shut them down. Like, we're not here to coddle women even more than they're already coddled, right? If you want the resources, if you want the gifts, you have to give me commitment, right? You have to prove to me that you're not seeing other men. At least try to fake it enough to where I believe you, right? Give me the benefit of the doubt. But until then, you know, I'm not gonna budge. You have to have that attitude, right? There are women that are going to hook up with you, hook up with you, hook up with you, and have fun and hook up, and all you're doing is buying them drinks and all that stuff. But then the magnitude of gifts that they're gonna ask for or imply that they want is going to increase over time, right? So here's what you do, right? So the problem is I'm hooking up with the girl and it's great and we keep hooking up, but here's the thing, here's the caveat. I have no problem buying a dinner for a girl I've already hooked up with and I'm having fun with, right? No problem, right? But here's where it gets iffy. Then they start asking for like, hey, I want to go out, but I need a dress. Get me a dress. Or I want to go out and I need some new shoes, right? And you do this, all right? Um, but here's the thing: you shouldn't be buying physical gifts for women, like beyond dinner, unless she can prove that she's chaste to you, that she's sexually loyal to you, right? Because there are a lot of women that are willing to they already find you attractive. They're willing to sleep with you and extract resources with you and have all the benefits of your girlfriend, but none of the chastity that comes with being your girlfriend, like only sexual loyalty to you, right? So be careful with those gray areas. Understand that there's different levels of gifts. There's gifts that are very like like a dress, a purse, a bag, physical gifts, a ring, a necklace, a makeup set, whatever, stuff like that. Those are things that typically you give to girls that are like your girlfriend, right? And even then, those are more like special day gifts, like, hey baby, you've been working hard and I've been working hard. Let's get a date night. I bought you a dress, surprise. Those are not for girls that, yeah, of course they're like sleeping with you and they're pleasant and everything, but until those girls are really like in your frame and qualifying to you, and at least implicitly imply that they're only with you, giving you the benefit of thinking that you're the only one, then that's when you kind of then that's that green light. But until then, keep it low investment gifts, little small things, and as she has to earn those gifts. And the best way for a woman to earn gifts, for me personally, is I need to know that she's not sleeping around with other guys, right? And I think that's a good model to go off of, right? Um, other than that, um, thank you for watching. That's all I got on the matter for right now. If you guys have any questions or you guys have any comments about what type of gifts you should be giving and when it's appropriate, let me know down in the comment section. And thanks for watching, and have a good night.
You can't ask of me to trust you.